Hello and welcome to Face to Face on Channel 1 Television. My name is Umaru Sandamadu. On Face to Face, we do the biggest interviews for you that matter, and it is an election year. So we're interviewing anybody and everybody who is interested in leading the country to know what exactly their policies, their plans, and their personalities are. So that's exactly what we are doing on tonight's edition of Face to Face. My guest is running as an independent candidate, having tried unsuccessfully at a parliamentary shot in the last election. Stay tuned in. I'm going to introduce him after this. You're welcome. This is Face to Face on Channel 1 Television. My name is Umaru Sandamadu. My guest I have known for more than 10 years. He's worked with us as a web developer running Kitness. I also know that he and I attended the same school, Tema Secondary School. So we call each other anchorites. I also know that he has gone into herbal medicine sale. So I used to call him Chofache. But those are the only things I know. So tonight, I'm going to ask him what other things are there that I need to know about him and why he wants to be president. Samuel Apea-Danquah is an independent presidential aspirant. He's my guest on Face to Face. Sami, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
How are you?
I'm fine.
How is life treating you?
It's good.
You know what I like about you? You like to laugh. You're always smiling and happy. You're just a happy man.
Yeah, I'm always happy.
You have problems in life. You're always laughing.
No, I don't think I have sufficient problems in life yet.
That's why you're always smiling, always happy. You're just a happy man.
Yeah,
when you come around here,
happy.
I mean, for more than 10 years that I've known you, I've not seen anyone fighting you before. You're like,
no,
like this nice guy that everybody wants to play. Maybe hold your cheeks and play with you, kind of thing.
That's my personality.
My viewers don't know you. Who are you? My
name is Samuel Apea-Danquah, and I'm a web developer. I'm a herbalist. I own, I would say, the largest IT company in Ghana, my Ghana Online. I own probably one of the largest advertising companies in Ghana, Arts Media Agency. I have a herbal practice, Kujibwapim Herbal Clinic. I have a software development firm, that's Kitness, and we've worked for almost every head of state in the Fourth Republic. I have a manufacturing company, and we produce drinks, lemon ice drinks.
Lemon Ice belongs to you?
Yeah, Lemon Ice is my company, yes. And there are many. Oh, yeah. I have a foundation that supports entrepreneurs. It's called SME Relief Foundation, yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But let's talk about your background.
Yes.
Where are you born? Where do you come from? Where did you school?
I was born in Bososo.
Where is that?
It's in the eastern region. And my father is Mr. Frederick Apea-Danquah. He's recently deceased. He was the first black secretary at West Africa Examinations Council. WAEC, yes. And my mom is Esther Bediako, and I first attended primary school and JSS at Achimota School, and then went to Tema Secondary, and then did a year at Central University. You remember those days, you had to wait a year at home. At that time, I had already written O and A levels, and decided to pass through Central University while waiting for my Legon result. And I attended Legon a bit, deferred, went back. I had wanted to do medicine, and since I didn't get it, and at the time my business was doing good, I decided to just focus on the business. So that's my story.
So you didn't finish Central University? What course
I didn't finish. I did just a year. I did business administration marketing option.
And you gave up?
I didn't give up. It wasn't supposed to be, you know, I am a science person. I've always been a science person. But
so you studied science in Temasco?
I studied science in Temasco, yes. I founded the science club in Temasco.
Oh, really? I came to meet that club.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
so I make things happen wherever I go. So if you ask those who went to Central University in 2000, they probably know me very well, and they'll probably think I did 4 years. No, I just did a year.
But you were out and about in the campus?
I was out in no time. In fact, in the middle of the exams in June, I was out because my admission forms from Legon had come. And it was medicine for me. It wasn't any other things.
You just stopped the Central. You said bye-bye.
I just stopped it. I just said bye-bye. You know, when
it's not like they sacked you.
No. I just my results were in, so I was out.
I see. And so you got Legon.
Yes.
They offered you what?
They offered me biological science. You know, if you want to do medicine, you have to do biological science first. Yes.
So you got that, and you
I
started.
got biological science. Yes.
You started.
Yes, I
For
started.
how many years?
I did a year and a half, and I deferred in January 2003.
Why did you defer?
Well, my
Money?
No, money has never been an issue.
There's money in the house, plenty.
There's money in the house.
Your dad
I
is
wouldn't-
rich.
He's dead now, so I don't know if
But he
that
was
would
rich.
apply. I mean, anybody who knows Achimota Business College will tell you Achimota Business College was established in 1955. You know, and some ministers had their kids there, ambassadors from all the West African sub-region. Yeah, before independence, it was already a big institution. So those who know Apea-Danquah, you know, you're here at Tesano. Achimota Business College is just at Abilingpe here.
I see.
We've always been like that.
So it means that when you were in Temasco, you were Dadaba. Your chop box always had conflicts and those things. You didn't suffer halasism.
I would say that it's hard to. I know I bribed the seniors with sardines.
So they
and
don't
things
lash
like,
you.
Exactly.
Which
you
house
know.
were you in?
I was in house 4. So those
That's
who
a shame. You should have been in house 2.
no, house 4 is good for me. House 4 is good for me because my house master was at the time Mr. Japon.
Yeah,
and
Mr. Lullaby. That's
and he taught me a bit of, you know, gave me piano lessons because he liked me a lot. You know, just like you know me now. I was a really soft person.
His wife sold porridge. We
Eh?
called it a lullaby.
Oh, at the time I was there.
Maybe you
I
didn't at the
can't,
time.
Yeah, I can't remember at the time.
Okay.
But he had a farm. I used to tend to, you know, I loved, you know, being, you know, getting my hands dirty with, you know, his ducks and his, you know, his chickens and stuff. Yes.
He had an apotroka.
Yeah, he did. He did. Yeah, he did.
Oh, wow. So when you came to Legon, what happened? Why did you defer? You haven't said that yet.
Well, I don't know whether, you know, maybe it's important that I say it. I've never said it before.
Please say it here. This is face to face.
Yeah, I've never said it before, but you know, considering what's happening in Ghana at the moment with all these drugs at the you know at the ports not being every time I hear about it, I feel so sad because not being cleared at the ports. I feel so sad because, you know, if you've never experienced this, you would not understand that, you know, people will die every day just because people who should do better, you know, are just, you know, not living up to their duties or their responsibilities. Like I said, we never had to mention this, but I would mention now just to let people know how serious it is and how it can affect anybody. In 2003, I was diagnosed with, it was hard to diagnose. They had to perform a surgery on me to get to realize that was the issue. And those I had treatments with died. So I know how serious it is. And mine wasn't the normal tuberculosis. It was extrapulmonary tuberculosis. My bones could not produce blood. You understand? So I was very pale. I was all white. So basically I was dying. They couldn't tell. I mean, they had conferences at Kolebu. They sat together to make sure. And it was just sheer luck. They decided to have my tonsils removed. And that was when they realized that was the issue. So I had to defer for the year. I wanted to do medicine, but I deferred at a really bad time. I was more than in a hurry to be back on campus. And when I got back on campus, instead of informing the authorities I was back, I didn't. I just went through another semester. And I was like, you know, the shock that I should see my name in the list of students to go to medical school. I went there and my name wasn't there. I went to see those in charge. They were like, well, you didn't inform us you were here. So you would have to go through every department one by one to get your results. Collate it. If you're able to do it before the time of the interview and we think you should be there, that's fine. You know, and well, it didn't happen. I just decided, let me just repeat the year. I repeated the year, finished the year, only to be told, if you're not a fee-paying student, you cannot repeat the year. You know, so basically it was
a wasted year.
It was frustrating. But at that time, my Ghana Online was becoming a really big company. we were working for, I don't know if I'm allowed, I don't remember having a non-disclosure agreement with them, but I was working for a lot of government agencies. We were working for NAFTI, we were working for UNESCO, we were working for JLD, we were working for Karma Group. They are not a government agency, GBC and the others. So even up till now, we work for almost all the media companies in Ghana, including your company. And we work for almost all the NGOs in Ghana. We work for almost all the hotels in Ghana. We really established ourselves. And I just thought, well, my business is doing well. And let me just say this. You know, when I started the treatment for the extrapulmonary TB, what happened was, you know, with tuberculosis, with me, I wasn't coughing. It was my bones that were not producing blood. So the tablets that were being given to the tuberculosis patients were the same thing I was taking, and then the injections as well. So what happened was, after the treatment, it's an 8-month course. After the treatment, I still wasn't feeling well. And every time I had a little malaria, it became an emergency, you know. So Jehu Apea at the chest clinic was the one taking care of me. And I mean, every day, almost every week, I was at his place, and you have to write a malaria prescription. And so one time I went to another doctor, and he was like, look, I've taken almost every like strong antibiotics, and my body cannot take it anymore. So I should look for something else. You know, I should try something else, because I can't continue being on antibiotics. That's why, you know, the kind of ineptitude being shown at the ports really saddens me. And
we want to see those drugs out and in the hospital.
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
So you deferred, and then you did repeated 1 year, and you were told you can't. So you just stopped the school altogether.
Oh, what I did was I reapplied. I stopped and reapplied. But at the time I reapplied, I was on a few big projects. I remember I was doing Buzia Foundation. This was at the height of Kufuor's regime, and the Buzia Foundation was having a few programs. It wasn't just that. I was doing a bit of work for Teledata and other companies who couldn't afford to see me move out, in and out. Exactly. So I just said to myself, you know what? And like I was saying earlier, when the doctor advised me to try something else, I tried herbal medicine, and I felt better. So I decided that instead of wasting my time, you know, feeling sick at school, you know, going back to take medicine and stuff like that, let me just focus on the business and then specialize in herbal medicine. And that's why I have a herbal practice. I
see. I'll come to the herbal practice part. So I just want to be sure. So you never finished Legon?
No, I didn't.
Did you go to any other university subsequent?
No. You know, I know some people actually thought I left to medical school, but no, that didn't happen. I did it. I just left. I didn't go to medical school. I just left.
So you didn't go to any other university?
No, I didn't. I just focused on my work.
So currently, Temasco's SSC certificate is all you have?
That's the beautiful certificate I possess.
Wow.
Yes.
How old are you?
I'm 42 years.
42 years. You're married?
I'm married with 3 kids.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Boys, girls, one boy, one girl?
1 girl, 2 boys. Very beautiful kids. Yeah.
Life is easy for them?
Life is easy for them. They are just enjoying life.
You're just taking care of them, spoiling them.
Yeah. You know, I mean, when I see them, I want to build a better Ghana, you know. I think it's the best thing I can leave for them, because Ghana doesn't allow you to make mistakes. Ghana doesn't allow you to make mistakes. If you make a mistake in Ghana, you're in trouble. And that's why most of the policies that I am pushing this time is to make life easier for Ghanaians. Yes.
So when did you, this medicine that you say you do, herbal medicine, talk to me about it. Is it the normal one, you boil herbs, put them in a gallon, sell? Is that the kind of thing you do, or educate me, please?
I try to understand, you know, if you're familiar with, you know, herbal medicine in Ghana, you would realize that every time, you know, say if you're in a bus, Kaneshi or Doko bus, those buses, I don't see them anymore, but those days...
Willow Brooks buses.
Yeah, exactly, yes. You know, everything seems to be, you know, linked to cocoa, you know. So one of the things I focused on was understanding what cocoa, for example, was, and I came to realize that it just has to do with, the way the blood vessels, it has to do with the elasticity of the blood vessels. So maybe if you have erectile dysfunction, it can be, attributed to cocoa. But that has to do with the fact that maybe your blood vessels are a bit too, they are elastic, but they don't have the strength to fall back in place when they stretch. So when it's engorged, the valves are weak, a bit too weak to hold the blood in place. You understand? So I came to understand herbal medicine. So yeah, we don't boil gallons of it, but we take just the right amount to, produce our medicine.
So where do you produce it? Do you have a factory somewhere? Or you have
no. I don't produce it in bulk. I basically treat people at my practice.
So you have a health center?
That is correct. A herbal clinic. Yes,
where?
I choose call it at Mataheko.
So what do you treat? Everything, like
I treat most things. I treat. With herbalists in Ghana, the first thing you have to think about is
cocoa.
Treating. Yeah, cocoa. Piles. Almost every Ghanaian. No, not almost every Ghanaian, but most Ghanaians have piles. Most Ghanaians, I would say about 50% or more have piles. It may not necessarily be protruded piles, but yes, most Ghanaians have piles. So it's one of the things you would most likely encounter in your practice, and other ailments related to piles. So, for example, erectile dysfunction, barrenness or infertility. These days you don't say barrenness, but infertility, and sometimes poor eyesight. I'm wearing the glasses not because
for the optics.
For the optics, yes. So thank you.
I'm also wearing mine because they say it's beautiful.
Yeah, that's.
So I'm also not. I'm fine. I
right.
can see
okay. All right. So yes. So and sometimes you have skin tags.
Okay.
So all these things. To the lay practitioner of herbal medicine, it's piles, and if you take any medicine that's good for piles, it would get rid of the problem. So
people come to your clinic, come for consultation.
Yes, they do.
Yes,
they do.
You give them medicine and all of that.
That's correct. Yes.
Are you certified?
I'm certified. I've been certified since 2012.
By who?
By GAFTRAM. I'm a staunch member of GAFTRAM. We go for meetings every month.
What's GAFTRAM?
Ghana Herbal Association, Ghana Federation of
Okay,
Herbal
no, if you don't remember, I mean, you have an idea. I just wanted to be sure.
I'm sorry.
So do you have, if you go to a clinic or a hospital, maybe there are like two doctors in the two different consulting rooms. Are you the only doctor? I'm
the only doctor in my clinic, and I have one.
But you're not called a doctor, right? Just to be sure.
I don't need to be called a doctor.
It's like you failed to go doctor the science way, so you decided to go doctor the herbal way.
Well,
so you become a doctor either way, herbal doctor, not medical doctor.
It's life that actually handed this to me, because I'd always been saying my reason for wanting to do Western medicine, for wanting to be a doctor, was I was more inclined to be a pharmacist, because I wanted to find the cure for every disease, So when it just occurred to me that for the situation I had at the time, it was the herbal medicine that was working. I thought it would be a lot easier to, research into herbal medicine. So if you look at my manifesto, there is a lot to say about research into herbal medicine and the fact that we should take, our herbal medicine seriously.
So during COVID, I'm sure you were boiling stuff for people.
During COVID. During COVID, I came up with a concoction, but I didn't have to give it to anybody at the time.
Did you take it?
I didn't need to take it.
Why? You didn't trust it?
Not that I didn't trust it. I prepared it too early.
So you could have found some treatment for COVID, you think?
My association, GAFTRAM, came up with treatment for COVID, yes. Okay. So it was in the news.
If I have a lower back problem and I come to you, you can solve it.
Oh yeah, of course.
If I have lack of power and I come to you, you can solve it.
Definitely. That's what we do.
Diabetes,
we can treat it. we've treated people who are being said that, oh, their diabetes is gone, but we don't have the kind of setup that would allow us to ascertain for ourselves whether it was just they were just pre-diabetic. And
we have many people with kidney issues or renal issues. We are told that some of the herbal medicine that people just boil and drink is a problem on their kidney. Are you not responsible for this?
This is another I think this is another thing that we should take seriously in this country. We play too much. You see, I'm not saying, if you look at the charts, kidney issues have risen over the past 5 years in Ghana, but we've been taking herbal medicines for more than more than a century, yes. And my team and I went to a few places where galamsey was happening. I think it's the science that seems to elude us. You see, you may be eating catfish here, you may be eating tilapia in Accra, but you do not know the mercury concentration of that catfish. So when you have kidney issues here in Accra, it may be because your fish had taken in, a certain amount of mercury in its body. And when fishes take in mercury into their bodies, they do not suffer immediately. They are able to. There's an intermediate compound that's formed. Sorry to be taken into the sciences, but there's an intermediate compound that's formed. I think it's called methyl mercury or so in their bodies. And once it remains in their bodies, unless it goes beyond a certain amount, they will not suffer the consequences.
And they pass it on to the consumer.
They pass it on to us. And we're eating carrots and cabbages that are planted in soils that are contaminated with mercury. And we have it in Accra, and people don't seem to realize, they do not see the correlation between galamsey and kidney issues. But I see that there are a lot of such stories in the media these days.
Let me take a break. This is Face to Face on Channel 1 Television. My name is Umaru Sandamadu. My guest is Samuel Apea-Danquah. He is an independent presidential aspirant, but for the last few minutes we were talking about his herbalist side of things. He wanted to be a medical doctor. He's ended up becoming a herbal doctor. When we come back, I'll ask him why he wants to be a president, and I say president of the Republic. You're welcome back. This is Face to Face on Channel 1 Television. My name is Umaru Sandamadu. Sami Apea-Danquah is my guest. He wants to be president of Ghana on an independent route. Let's talk about that now. Why do you want to be president?
Well, I don't say this lightly, but I don't think that the current crop of frontliners, to be president are good enough. I don't think they are. And nobody. If we had someone who was competent and could, do the work, nobody would want to be president. We would like to just have fun with our kids, enjoy our lives, go to the beach, just have fun, but we have people who have, well, they're just not good enough. We just don't have a good enough lineup, and someone has to do something. We can't just be laid back and if you know my history, my track record, there isn't any institution I've been to that I haven't left a mark, because there was something wrong. So for example, those who know me from Legon remember me because of about two reasons. I think the first being, and the most important being, the newspaper, the official newspaper I set up. I was just tired going from, hall to, lecture hall. You have to check the notices on trees and notice boards at the department. So I just wrote to the Vice Chancellor and told him that, at the time, I think it was, I'm sorry, it would come. So I wrote to the Vice Chancellor and told him that, I think that the administration, if they want to tell us anything, if our lecturers need to tell us anything, we must put it in a weekly newspaper, so that we can all, just have it, in hand and just read it. It doesn't make sense for an institution like ours, to be, you can't be just going everywhere looking for information like that. And so he directed me to the Dean of Students at the time, Flagbearer, and he gave me a few preconditions to get started. He asked me to get 3 patrons. I got that. and then he gave me the permission to set up the newspaper. So it was called the UG Campus, and it did fantastically well. We also set up a website. At that time, I was already a web developer. I set up the website, and it helped a lot of Nigerians. At the time, the website of the University of Ghana was nothing to write home about. It wasn't like where it is today. I'm talking about 2002, 2002, 2003, 2004. And so, especially Nigerians who came around 2002, 2003 to Legon came because of UG Campus. We provided information. They only needed to send the request, to our discussion. Those days we had discussion boards and forums like that. They just needed to send those requests or by email, and we do the necessary checks for them. At the time, the registrar was Tebi. I think I'm getting the name right. Tebi, yes, that was his name. So, I mean, these people knew us very well because we were always making, requests for information. That was our biggest service.
So you fixed university campus communication lapse that you identified.
Yes, that's correct.
But what is the lapse in Ghana that you intend to fix?
That's where to even start from. Everything, every sector of the economy is gone. Our health situation, like I mentioned earlier, we have drugs that have been given to us for free and we wouldn't clear them. Our economy is in shambles. The CD is in free fall. Inflation is through the roof. There's always a budget deficit for as long as we've known. Nobody wakes up and says, why should we always have to borrow in order to show up our budget? It doesn't make any sense. It's almost like we have no shame when it comes to these things. It's sad, and it's like nobody can sit down, with a little economics. Like nobody has the patience to sit down and say that this is the problem and this is how we're going to solve it. I understand that people think that the 4 years is a bit too short, but I always blame it on the fact that we don't have competent people in charge.
Why didn't you join a political party?
It's a total waste of time. You see, there's a certain culture that builds within a political party that makes even the best person become the worst person.
Explain.
So I would explain. You see, if there are a lot of instances, I would try not to mention those instances, but as a journalist, I'm sure it will come to you. You need the backing of a strong political party to be able to, venture into the political space. Let's take what happened just last weekend when Nakoyo was arrested. If it had been a member of my party that was arrested, and I know you keep saying that I'm an independent candidate, but we're working towards being a political party. In fact, we have our provisional certificate for
so
Yellow
you're no
Ghana.
more independent?
I'm no more independent. I'm the flag bearer of Yellow Ghana as we speak.
So the party is called Yellow Ghana?
That's correct, yes.
That's Alan's colors you've stolen.
You've known me since I contested for MP.
Yes.
My color was yellow.
Okay.
In my father's family, their color has always been yellow. Those who know Yellow House at Apea, before National Theatre, we had Yellow House. That's where Amachi Dede and Lumba and the others were performing.
So you own that Yellow House?
No, that's my grandfather's house.
Yellow House?
Yellow House in Apea is my grandfather's house, yes.
So yellow has always been your color?
Yellow has always been my color. And
but in this election period, between you and Alan Chamantin, who brought the yellow out first? Because the butterfly came with the yellow.
I mean, when I came with... No, the butterfly did not come with the yellow. And I think that's the mistake people keep making. Butterfly did not come with the yellow. Watch his announcement again. His color was blue. His background was blue. And his symbol was the monarch butterfly, and I don't know why people keep thinking... But the butterfly
was yellow.
The monarch butterfly is not yellow. The monarch butterfly is orange and black. Okay. At least I did a little botany, so that could be I could spare him. He's an economist, okay. So I could spare him that. But the monarch butterfly is orange and black, and I came out more than a year before he left the MPP.
What is the symbol or the symbolism of yellow for you? Why do you choose yellow as a political party?
Yellow is the color of youth. Is the color of optimism and it's the color of the can-do spirit. It's the color of energy. You understand? Basically, it is the color of possibility. The fact that we believe that Ghana can reach its fullest potential with the kind of organization we're putting together. That's what it's all about.
So Yellow Ghana, that's the name.
Yellow Ghana, that's what it is.
Is that not similar to the slogan or logo of MTN?
No, I don't know. I think.
Or you don't. Okay.
MTN is yellow. Yeah, I mean, yellow is a color. Same, yeah. Yes, and you know, we've always been yellow. When I stood for MP, remember in 2020, my color was yellow. I haven't changed my symbol, and my symbol was the anchor. It's still been the same.
Explain why you use the anchor. It's stolen our anchorite.
It's a bit of the anchorite thing, and it's a bit of the significance of being an anchor. You know, an anchor stabilizes. No, it's the youth of Ghana being the anchor. You understand? The youth of Ghana, in a region of positivity, you know, would stabilize this country. That's what it is. We don't need all these retirees who are playing into our political space. They will do nothing for us. They will do absolutely nothing for us. Look, even when you hit 40 and you wake up in the morning, your body tells you are 40. Imagine those who are 60. There's a reason why in our society, you know, we decided that, you know what, when you hit 60, you should go on retirement. You know, rest your body. You know, rest your body and let society take care of you when you hit 60. But strangely enough, in this country, it's the opposite. When you are 60, you are taken and given the opportunity to become president of Ghana. All the front runners, President Mahama, Vice President Bawumia, are over 60 years. What are they doing? What are they doing here?
So you want them to retire?
There has been no consequential leader in Ghana who has been over 60 years. There has been no consequential leader. None. Look, when Kwame Nkrumah was my age, and I'm actually older than Kwame Nkrumah when he became prime minister, when he stood for elections in 1951 to become prime minister, I'm actually older than he was at the time. We need youth. We need people who would be alive to see the actions that they took. It's important.
Are the youth listening to you? Are they supporting you?
You see, they will listen. They will listen. You know, I would explain something to you. If Kwame Nkrumah came today, forget about everything he's done, everything he's achieved. If he came today and sold us the same message with the MPP and the NDC, you know, running the show as it is right now, and he sold us the same message he sold to us in 1951. He sold us the same message as the head of the CPP. He will still not win the election. Our politics has morphed into, you know, something that has to do so much with relationships. You know, your father is an MPP man. As he grows, he grooms you as an MPP person. Your mother is an NDC woman. As she grows, as time goes on, within the 4 years from one election to the other, he grooms, you know, his kids to understand because every time there is any argument, let's say the light goes off, they blame the NDC, they blame the MPP. Anyone who is within that space, you know, is either incited against one party or in more subtle ways, you know, there's this inculcation of this party is better than this, you know. So it has become part of the fabric of society.
How can you break that chain?
It's actually quite simple, but no one person can do it alone. That's why I am looking more towards, that's why we actually are working towards the party and not the independent candidate thing. No one person can do this. So
you don't believe you can win the presidency as an independent candidate? That would be difficult.
No, look at it this way. I can win the elections as an independent candidate, but the mobilization on the ground actually allows you to become a party, and it makes it easier for people to participate. So, for example, next week we'll be inviting anyone who is interested in joining Yellow Ghana as a parliamentary candidate to file their nomination.
Currently, you don't have anybody, do you?
Oh, we have many people who have expressed
constituencies?
interest.
So you're planning to be national, or you're planning to be just...
We are already national. That's why we have a provincial certificate. We are already national.
So you have officers across the country?
We have chairpersons. We elected chairpersons all over the country.
Really?
You know, that's the reason we have our certificate. We just didn't badge into the EC and collect.
So you have a rep for Biakuye constituency?
We have a presence in almost every constituency in Ghana.
That's interesting.
Yes. And you know, even though I would say our biggest numbers are in Ablekuma Central, because that's where I come from, we have what I'll consider mini strongholds in the north.
What is your policy for the youth?
You know, there are a lot of things that we can do for the youth. There are a lot. And I have taken my time to put together some of the most detailed policies, with the most detailed policy documents you could ever find with any political party. One of my policies, which I think we actually need to implement now, is the entrepreneurship and the entrepreneurship. It's an entrepreneurship allowance. It's part of our universal welfare system that we want to establish. And what we are saying is that anyone who completes a tertiary institution, it's either when you hit the age of 23 or you complete, whichever comes first, so that you know those who don't attend tertiary institutions are not left out. Whichever comes first, you'll be given a grant of 10,000 cedis. You know, at the time it was 10,000 cedis. So when you look at my manifesto, it will say 10,000 cedis. But at the time, the CD was really low. It wasn't this low. That's what I mean. Yeah. So it was actually it was actually $1,000 at the time. So you'll be given an amount of $1,000. You know, and that $1,000 would make a huge difference, because it will make people, well, so it's an investment and entrepreneurship allowance. And
this is for the youth.
It's for the youth. So at the age of 23, or when you complete your tertiary, you are given $1,000 free of charge.
What is your idea of how to fix our road and transport problems?
Well, our roads and transport problem, it's got to do with maintenance and just a common sense approach. You see, when the road is bad, like look at the villages, for example. If the road is bad, if you have a maintenance schedule, for example, that says every month we're going to level the roads and water it down. You know, water it down maybe every week, but level the roads every month. We have enough, you know, backhoes and tractors and stuff like that, you know, all these heavy machinery to do that. We have enough to do that. So it isn't as though we always need to tar the roads. It shouldn't get to that stage. You know, a stitch in time saves 9. It shouldn't get to that stage before we decide to do something about it. You know, if you look at just the road in front of my area, Atiko Junction, just look at how bad that road is. Every 4 years we come back to the same thing.
This is Face to Face. Sami Apea-Danquah is my guest. He's trying to ride on the Yellow Ghana group to win the presidency. I'm going to ask him why he's not joining forces with other persons who are looking at a third force in the country. That'll be after this break. Please stay. Yeah, welcome back. This is Face to Face on Channel 1 Television. My name is Umaru Sandam. My guest is Samuel Apea-Danquah. He is leading the Yellow Ghana group, wanting to be president on that particular ticket. So, I mean, in 2020, you contested the Ablekuma Central constituency as an independent candidate. Yeah. 4 candidates in the race.
Yes.
You were third.
Yes.
You pulled 442 votes.
Yes.
As in like 104 and 42. Representing 0.47%.
That's correct.
That's in small Ablekuma.
Yes.
The national picture there, you're going to get 4 votes.
Okay, so I had, you know, prior to my standing for MP Ablekuma Central, I had never done anything political in Ghana, you know, so it was more of a learning experience. You know, it was a learning experience. It had the vision had always been for the presidency. It wasn't necessarily for the MP. No.
So why didn't you try again this time around to say that okay, I'm coming to test the waters?
In Ghana, you're not. Look, if the president says that, for example, all the items at the port, the medicines should be shipped today. They'll be done today. Even when the vice president said payment of alawa to the nurses should be paid, it was done within a week.
Yeah, but if Parliament says this should not be done, that will not be done.
Even if the speaker says it will not be done.
That's not true.
It's true. If you like, let the speaker say that they should clear the things from the
if
port.
If the speaker and his Parliament
it will
don't
not
approve
happen.
the budget, they cannot
it will
spend.
not. Look, the NDC is even almost half of Parliament,
Yes.
and they can't get anything through. We were here when e-levy was passed. You understand?
Yeah, but if you got 400 votes in Apea-Danquah Central,
Yes.
national election, I worry for you.
Let me ask you a question,
Yes.
and just be as honest as you can.
Yes.
Do you think John Mahama can win a Bantama as an MP?
I'm not going to answer you.
Nah, you see, so that's the
But
thing.
most likely not.
Exactly. So that's what I'm trying to say. Do you think Akufo-Addo can win Ketu North?
Yeah, but you are
You see, that's what I'm just trying to say. You see, don't look at what happened at Apea-Danquah Central and use that as a yardstick across the country.
so it's not a fair representation
It's not.
of what you are.
It's not at all.
Why didn't you join forces with Cheddar, with Alan Tremonti, all of you people want to go independent or third force?
I have had discussions with a few independent candidates. We are still in negotiations as to how to go about things. There are some people who have a lot of money. There are some people who have a lot of who have a strong message. There are some people who have who have the personality. In Ghana, you really can't come out of nowhere with no personality and become president. It's just not possible. There are a lot of things that we'll need to put together to be able to stage a strong third force, if ever there should be one.
Which includes uniting your front.
It's not necessarily the case. One person can change everything. You understand? One person can change everything.
Maybe one person being selfish.
Not necessarily being selfish.
Have you discussed joining forces? Since you all appear to want a third force.
I have spoken to at least three people who wanted or may still want to become independent candidates. Have been to my office and we've had that discussion at length. And there's still time. There's still 6 months to go. And 3 months before we actually do the filing.
Let me ask you a question I asked Cheddar about academic credentials, considering that in the past few weeks we've been discussing the Dutch passport versus PhD.
Yeah.
You have a SSC certificate.
Yes.
You're going to have, if you became president, you're
Yes.
going to have people in government who are professors, PhDs. Can you manage them?
Okay, so it's interesting you ask, but I have, in my family, every single person in my family, even I have half brothers and half sisters, all of them either own schools and have their PhDs and things. I am a bit of maybe the black sheep, I would say. I don't, after everything I witnessed at Kolebu with that episode of mine, I started seeing things for what they were. Life isn't what we see it to be. And if any of our politicians knew how life is meant to be lived, they would just throw away all this, selfishness and greed, in their outlook in life and just decide to do right by the people. Because when they leave here, they would have nothing but regrets. You see, it is not enough to make sure that your children or your relatives are well-to-do. It's important that the country is a country where people who do not have enough can live. So that, like I said earlier, your children should be able to have a second chance or a third chance if anything should go wrong. And back to your question, would I be able to, manage PhD holders and stuff like that? I've done a lot of business for government where I managed PhD holders and people with higher academic backgrounds than I don't see the paper as a determinant of your intelligence. Anybody who went to school with me from primary school to the university knows that when it comes to academics, it's as someone would say, it's cocoa for me. It's straightforward. And you see, with me right now, I don't know if you could ask the VRA engineers in 2007, and people don't realize this. In 2007, you remember some pastors in July went to pray for the dam at the time when there was only one person who presented a paper. And it was me. I presented a paper to the engineers. They sat down and listened to me. So it isn't as though, you know, I let, you know, my lack of paper, academic paper, be
doesn't stop you.
I don't feel diminished in any way because I don't have the papers. In fact, if anything at all, and it's something my mom was trying to, like, she was scared that I have no interest in getting the paper, you know. And I was saying that the kind of programming I was doing in 2002
was more than a paper can give.
Yeah, I was like, there's no university in Ghana which can actually do what I'm doing.
Do you have a running mate yet?
We're working on it. We're trying. Yes, we're working on it.
Any ideas? Who are you going to settle on?
Unfortunately, we're trying to convince them. And you know how it is like in Ghana. People are so scared. Some people don't even pick your calls anymore because they fear the NIB is listening in on them.
Or they think you're not serious.
No, that's not the case. I mean, anybody who knows me knows that when I say I'm doing something, that's it. It's even in my name. You understand? If I decide that this is what I will do, that's it. It happens. And look, take everything I've done in the past, and you will see that anything I decide to do is done.
What is your solution to corruption?
Corruption is quite simple. I think I have about 4 different policies on corruption. One of them is the whistleblower program. And in fact, when I listen to the politicians talk, I realize that no, I think age is catching up. They don't seem to realize what's happening. One of the whistleblower program, for example, is like this.
Whistleblowers Act already.
Yeah, but this is even for my policy is this: if you are able to get us someone who has either looted the state or stashed our money somewhere, you get 10% of what the person has hidden. So, for example, there are some matters that are before the court, so I'll not even bother to go there.
Now I know what you're going to mention.
Yeah, so exactly. So when you find any money stashed somewhere,
10% of that
10% is yours. 10% is yours. You see, and in no time.
So you think that would help prevent corruption?
It's just one.
What if the owner of the money says, "I'll give you 15%. Don't go and whistle."
Don't go and whistle. Now, when we find that you and the owner would all be, and you see, you know, one of the things we'll be doing is converting our currency to digital currency. We'll be using a lot of digital currency because of our single tax policy.
Okay.
Basically, we are getting rid of all taxes and just using one single tax, and it's on receipt. So, for example, if you're being paid your salary and the money is transferred digitally, 10% is deducted at source. You know, once it hits your account, 10% is deducted. What that means is that your boss doesn't have to go and file, the accountant at your office doesn't have to go and file taxes. Those things are, you see, that's why I'm against old people being in charge.
You are an ageist.
I am an ageist when it comes to politics. We haven't had any, I keep saying, we haven't had any consequential leader who has been over 60 years. It's never happened in Ghana before.
What will be your policy for education? Free SHS, continuous scrap? My education policy is in 2 parts. There's an education allowance that comes with the universal welfare system, but then there's another education policy which would replace the free SHS, and it would take care of you. And if you remember, I mentioned this to you in 2020, that if we could allow people to mortgage their future income against their education, that would be it. Is that not what the student's loan is all about? You pay in the future.
The student's loan is only for, at the moment, it's only for tertiary, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yes. With mine, it's from the age 4. If you go back and play that interview you did of me, from age 4, you can mortgage your future, whoever is your legal guardian can mortgage your future income against your education. And that would, if you just give me a minute to land on this, it would really be helpful. Now, what that would do is that, you know, if you can't give proper education to your children when they are between 4 and 10, you've basically lost them. You understand? So when you have a family that's broke around that time and you promise them free SHS, you are not helping them.
Sammy, I want you to look at the camera. Ghanaians are watching you. Tell them why they should vote for you if you ever made it onto the ballot.
Okay.
In 30 seconds.
Now,
this is a national address.
Well, that caught me a bit off guard.
I know.
But
that's what happens on face-to-face.
What I would like to say to Ghanaians is that Samuel Apea-Danquah cannot do it alone. I cannot do it alone. But I would ask you, in fact, I would implore you to have a look at my manifesto. and see how I have taken my time over the past several months to make provision for every single person. And my policies for the economy, for example, will stabilize the cedi and would make Ghana, I know, I'm sorry, but
you can say Ekrabesha, it will help.
It would make Ghana.
Just say Ekrabesha is fine.
Ekrabesha, as you say, yes.
Thank you so much, Samuel Apea-Danquah.
Thank you.
A leader of the, is it leader, presidential aspirant? What's your title?
I'm the Flagbearer of Yellow Ghana.
And also founder.
And also the founder of
Yellow Ghana.
Yes.
And my senior from Tema Secondary School. He wants your votes. If he appears on the ballot and you're convinced, please vote for him so that we get a Temascan at the presidency. My name is Umaru Sanda Amado. This has been Face to Face on Channel 1 Television. We'll be back next week. Thank you for watching.